I'll give you a couple of minutes to read that. So, the point today is for us to make sure that your web presence does not look like a million monkeys have participated in the creation of it. And we say this not lightly because many times people come to us, and as we point out various aspects of their online presence, they realize, I didn't know that was out there. Oh, people are seeing that. So today we're going to walk through a few checklists so that you have the opportunity. And as we said before, I'm Yvette from Designcraft Advertising, and I'm the President and Creative Director there, and this is Mike Zeidowitz. He's our Marketing Manager. And so the two of us will walk through a few of the highlights. It is a little difficult to get everything there is to know about online marketing into 30 minutes. So we'll give you everything we know maybe in 30 minutes. So we're going to mainly cover 5 areas of your online foundation. These are your website, reviews, social media, incoming links, and media coverage. We'll walk right into your website. And if you are not viewing your website as the first place people make contact with you, you are missing a big opportunity. Because for most businesses, possibly with the exception of Cargo Coffee, but for most businesses, your website is a place where people go to vet you before they make contact with you. It's very likely that someone, I often think of someone at 11 o'clock at night thinking, oh, really have to make that phone call tomorrow to get started on, my refrigerator purchase or my, new remodeling job. And where do they go to start that? They go to a website to look around to plan who they're going to call. So look at your website as your homepage and really keep it slim and trim so that we know that people, when they're looking at it, know exactly what to do. And what do you want them to do? You don't want them to get stuck reading your website. You want them to call you or to contact you. So think about that. Your website should also be very true to your brand. This is one danger of using templates or non-custom websites, is that it doesn't look like you. And you lose that ability. I always say in local advertising, the one thing that is most important is consistency. You do not have the luxury of multiple media channels the way a large corporation, a large national corporation does. You really have to make every impression count. So your brand has to be consistent, and your website should be the basis of that. So make sure it reflects your personality and the colors and look of your brand. And then make sure that your website is supporting your promotions. Here's an example of that. We work with Home Savings Bank. They have custom debit cards now. In fact, you could do this. If you wanted your brand to be consistent, you could put your logo on your debit card. But it's right on the home page of their website now, because that is a special that they're offering. And I can't stress this enough. No one wants to get stuck reading your website. They don't owe you hours of their time. In copywriting, we say that the more concise you are, the more effective you are. And this is absolutely true for websites. The danger of websites for many people is we know that more words don't cost more money. So we think of a website as a way that we can just keep right on going and explaining more and more about our business. And who doesn't want to talk about their own business? So we just keep talking. But every word counts. No one wants to get stuck reading. And what they'll do is just move on to the next site. You want to keep it concise, and you want to make sure that their eye goes right to the call to action, which in most cases is going to be contacting you. And Mike reminded me of this. Responsive sites are very important now. You want to make sure that your website looks good on every screen. As of April 21st, 2015, Google began to penalize people who did not have a website that looked good on multiple screen sizes. So if you have a static website that doesn't change sizes or is not adaptive, then Google is actually ranking you lower in search ranking because of that. So this is definitely important that you think about how you can create a website that is responsive and looks good on every screen. I think right now, the statistics that we're seeing, 20 to 30% of the people viewing our clients' websites are coming from mobile devices. So very important, and that's only growing. Every year we see that number going up. And here's an example of a website. This is Bad Dog Frida. You can see Bad Dog Frida is a fun place. We wanted the website to be fun. And the other thing that's very important on a website is that you have good photos. And make sure that the photos represent the brand. So that's one of the things we did here. This website also very effectively, it stays current. There's a Facebook feed on the lower right, and upcoming events are listed on the front page as well, because both of those are very effective, or very important to this business. The second thing, after your website is well taken care of, are reviews. There are various review sites online. Probably the place to start for almost every business, a universal review site is Google. But there may be specific review sites for your business as well as something like Yelp if you're in the restaurant business. And you want to make sure that you are policing those and that you have them well fed. So one of the most effective ways to combat negative reviews is to have plenty of positive reviews. How do you get positive reviews? Don't write them yourself, and don't ask your employees to write them. Both of those are actually misleading ways, and ways that could work against you if people recognize what's going on. What you want to do is encourage your happy customers to give you positive reviews, and you want to direct them to the site or sites that you use most often. So what we encourage people to do is choose 1 or 2 review sites and make it a normal part of their process that customers then are asked after the interchange to go to those review sites and provide a positive review. Now, it is possible that someone, all of us at one time or another have had an unhappy customer. Probably someone unreasonable, right? But when that happens, first of all, you can have an automatic alert sent to you when a review is placed, and so you should be monitoring that at all times. But when you do see a negative review, you want to take a deep breath, make sure you're not emotional, and write a response. The point of the response is not to argue with the person who gave you a negative review. The point of the response is to let other people know that you care. So when someone writes and says, the service was atrocious and the food was awful, you respond with something like, I'm so sorry you caught, you had this experience in our restaurant. This is not typical. We hope you'll come back. What this is doing is sending the notice to other people that you are, you care about them as customers. And it also shows that if it is one negative among many positives, chances are good that that person is the one with the issue more than your business. So the important takeaway from this is you want to monitor your reviews regularly. And we even have customers who, when they get a positive review, make sure to thank that customer, certainly the next time they see them. After website and reviews, we move on to social media. And social media could, of course, be an entire presentation in itself. But the main thing we want to tell local businesses is to concentrate your efforts. Don't try to be all things to all people and cover all different types of social media platforms simultaneously. If you're a small business, your time, the investment of your time is significant and can be overwhelming in social media. What typically happens then is that one or two platforms end up getting ignored. And that is much, much worse than not being on the platform to begin with. So we recommend that you look very closely at what one or two platforms match your brand and will benefit your brand the most, and stay current. Make sure that you are really keeping the content fresh on those, and that you're not writing filler content. You know, we're all aware of what filler content looks like, and just posting for the sake of posting doesn't serve your purposes at all. In fact, that is likely to lose you followers. So make sure that you really keep your content fresh. Don't overdo it. We don't need to hear from any business 2 or 3 times a day. It's very important that your content be something that people want to connect with and engage with. So keep in mind that it should be something they relate to and they're interested in enough to stay in touch. Habitat Restore is one of our clients, and very good example if you want to look at a site that keeps their content fresh and is very engaging. They actually list, because the Restore is getting new materials in all the time, they actually use it as a place where they're listing incoming materials, and you'll see a lot of engagement where people write, you know, they get a palette of paint in and people write and ask questions, you know, is this this kind of paint, or they get a new piece of furniture in and people write, you know, can you give me the measurements? Real good example of a way to use social media to benefit the business. So now we're ready to look at incoming links. Incoming links are other sites where your material is listed. This is frequently a place that people totally forget about. It is a good idea to take, you know, like maybe one day, at least every 6 months, maybe one day every 3 months, and just Google your business name and find out where else your business is listed and make sure that that information is current. One of the places, of course, that your business is listed is any membership organizations. Dane Buy Local is a perfect example of that. You have a business profile on Dane Buy Local. How many people here have looked at their Dane Buy Local business profile in the last month? Do you want to give them? Looks like
we got some prizes for those people.
Yeah. But if you haven't, you should, because other people can read that information And it could be totally out of date. We've again had clients where we found information where it had the wrong business address. They'd moved 2 years before, but the business address and phone number were still wrong. So really, go out there, take a day, and just go out there and look for yourself and see what information is there. There are also specialty platforms, something like Houzz, if you're in the remodeling industry, or Porch, if you're a realtor, where you want to make sure that if you have an account there, you're represented, because if you're in that industry, that's where people are looking, and that you're well represented. On Houzz, for example, you have the opportunity to load project photos, and you want to keep that current. You don't want project photos from 5 years ago, because people think that those are the most current projects you've done, not an unusual assumption. So make sure you keep those things current. And then distributor platforms. This is another place where you're likely to forget about the fact that you represent a certain manufacturer, and that manufacturer has you listed on their website, but the information may be incorrect, the phone number may be wrong, maybe it's linking to a different domain name than you're currently using. So make sure you keep that up to date, and whatever opportunities they offer you in terms of listings, take advantage of them. And finally, cooperative ventures. One of the ways that we encourage local businesses to promote themselves, and that was going on this morning, I heard it in several of the announcements, is to work together, cooperate with one another, and help each other build businesses. So if you have a business that is a logical partner, someone, let's just say we work with a lot of building trades clients. So someone who's doing remodeling, for example, is likely also to come across people who need closet renovations. So it's a natural business partnership that the remodeler would help the closet person. And those kind of partnerships are partnerships that you can build and you can list on your website and have them list on their website as well. And then the fifth leg of your foundation is any media coverage, because this also is going to show up in a Google search, and you want to make sure that you're both taking advantage of it and policing it. Use something like, what's it called? Google Alerts, yes. To make sure that when your business name comes up, you know about it, and make sure that you include any relevant articles on your website. Whether the articles, don't have to be about your company, but they could be articles, for example, if you're selling bakery items, and there's an article about cake being especially nutritious, that might be an article that would be beneficial for you to have a link to from your website. Oh, and there we go, Google Alerts. Make sure you're using Google Alerts then for any search terms, not only your brand name, but any search terms that would be relevant. And here's an example of some media coverage that our client, Farley's House of Pianos, was recently in Madison Essentials magazine, and this is something that they would link to, and both online and in person. And finally, make sure you keep everything up to date. We see this a lot, that once you build a website or create social media, people tend to think, oh well, that cover photo on Facebook, I got it done. But it should be something that is staying current, and your website should be something that is changing. Certainly it should be changing for the seasons. It should be following trends. If you are a hobby store and you don't have a photo of a drone on your front page, you really are missing an opportunity because right now, you know, those are in the news. And you want to make sure that you update product offerings. When you get new products in, let your customers know. And you do that both on social media and on your website. So now Mike is going to tell you a little bit about how to build on that foundation once you have it in place.
All right, like Yvette said, once you have a foundation, you want to build on that foundation. And three things we're going to talk about are local online media, paid social media, and Google AdWords. So local online media, think of the local media sources you use. Your customers are probably using the same sources, so why not reach them on those same media sources? Local news sites like Madison.com, Isthmus.com have thousands of local views every day, and this provides an excellent opportunity to reach local viewers with your ads. When you advertise with local online media sources, you get the benefit of a company that knows the market much better than their national competitors. Because of this, they know how to most effectively reach your target audience in the local area. Using local online media shows that your company truly values the benefits of buying locally, as everybody here is well aware of. Many of the local online media reps are in this room today. I know Peggy from Isthmus.com is here, and they'd be glad to help you out. Paid social media. Almost every social media platform offers a paid advertising option, but we recommend you start with Facebook because many of you already have Facebook and they offer simple ways to start advertising effectively online. Facebook has greatly reduced the reach of their organic or unpaid posts, and in the last few years it's really reached fewer and fewer people. Even if you have 500 followers, an average post might only reach 25 people. If your posts aren't getting enough reach or interaction, such as likes, comments, etc., then you should consider Facebook advertising. Facebook offers many types of advertising. The simplest form of advertising, and probably the most effective, is boosted posts. Boosted posts allow your posts to show up on desktop and mobile, timelines, and feeds for people who may not have otherwise seen your posts or ads. You get to choose the audience based on demographics, interests, and location, while also setting a daily budget that meets your needs. Even with a budget of $5 a day, you can reach hundreds of extra people that you might not have normally reached with Facebook. And getting started is very easy. You might have noticed when you post on Facebook, you might have seen that boost post right after you post. Just hit that. You click the button, you choose budget, location, who you want to target. Very easy to get started with Facebook advertising. Here's some Habitat Restore ads we've been running. You can see they come in different sizes. The middle one is the desktop. What you can see on a desktop, the right side is what you can see on mobile, and then that's a right side ad, those ads that appear on the right side of Facebook. So it's easy to get a post all over Facebook. Google AdWords is another great option. You can reach your customers right when they are searching for your products. Lets you show on Google's search results page and reach the potential customers right when they're searching for your product or service. If you sell pizza and somebody near your location is searching for pizza, you want to show up very high in those results. So it's likely that they're going to purchase if they're searching for that item. If you use Google search ads, you can help show up on the front page of Google for relevant searches. You can even have extensions on your ads that show your phone number, location, Google reviews, and a lot more information. You can see our client Farley's House of Pianos is in the top ad position. It also lists their address and their phone number, so it's very easy to contact them if you're looking for piano repair in Madison. The Google AdWords Display Network lets you place your ads on thousands of sites across the internet. You can choose specific websites or have Google automatically place your ads on relevant websites, websites that are related to your product or your service. It's a great way to run an awareness campaign. And if you say you just opened a hardware store, you want to show your ads to people looking at home improvement websites. So you could have your ad for your hardware store appear on do-it-yourself websites or things like that, so that people who are interested in your products are able to see it on websites. You don't just have to put advertisement on Google like this. You can also appear on relevant websites. Both the search network and the display network allow you to target a specific geographic location, choose your own budget, and you only have to run ads when you want to run ads. It's pay as you go, so there's no monthly or yearly commitment, and you don't have to sign any contract, and you only pay for ads when people click on them. It's a very effective form of advertising. I'm Google AdWords certified, and if anybody has any questions about Google AdWords, I'd be glad to answer them for you afterwards. So once you've built on your foundation, you want to make sure you monitor and improve it. 3 things we're going to talk about: Google Analytics, your return on investment, and regular maintenance. So Google Analytics, can anybody answer these 4 questions about their website? Raise your hand if you can answer all those questions about your website. We have 1 person? A couple of people. All right, we've got a couple of prizes, so come see me afterwards. We've got some hands. But many of you couldn't answer basic questions about your website, like how do people get to your website? How many people visit each month? Which pages do they visit? Or even if they're on a computer, a tablet, or a mobile phone. And if you use Google Analytics on your website, you would know the answer to these questions and a lot more. Google Analytics keeps track of how people interact with your website and provides a wealth of information about how to improve not only your website, but your online presence. Here's an example of a Google Analytics report. These are fully customizable. This happens to be from our website. But you can see basic information we can show our clients, like what city are their customers coming from, how are they getting to the website, how long are they staying on the website, how many users, how many times did those users look at the website. A lot of information that is very important to running your website. It's easy to install, and you can have it up and running in less than 30 minutes. So it's something that every website should have, and every business should be looking at this at least monthly. I'm also Google Analytics certified, and if you have any questions about installing it or using Google Analytics, I'd help you with that as well. And now Yvette is going to talk about return on investment.
So the point of all of this is to get you a return on investment. If you're doing any of this, and particularly the social media, you're not doing it as a hobby, and you should continually remind yourself of that. You want to make sure that it is effective and effective at what you are trying to accomplish. So the first thing we encourage people to do is set goals. Start out with what numbers are going to matter to you. Do you want to get people in the door? Do you want to increase sales? Do you want to increase calls? So decide how you're going to measure your results then. Will you just keep a tally? Are you going to begin by measuring phone calls, and then a month later make sure that those phone calls led to sales? Write down what these benchmarks are, and make sure you involve the frontline people in your business to encourage them to keep track of this. And with each one of these things, there are ways that, as Mike pointed out, you can use Google Analytics to help you, but you also have to remember that a lot of it is going to happen not online, and will be, yes, they got to your website, but what did they do after they got to your website? Did that really lead them to pick up the phone? Or when they did pick up the phone and you got them on the phone, did that really lead to the sale? So make sure you establish those benchmarks and you continually reevaluate them to keep people moving through that sales channel. And all of that information should be allowing you to do regular maintenance on your advertising. You want to make sure that if something's not working, and typically, advertising is as much an art as it is a science, so You want to make sure that, you might think you're in the industry and the terms that you think are very effective at attracting people may be terminology that the average layperson is unaware of. So check those keywords. And I'm looking at you, Rick. But check those keywords and make sure they're working the way you expected them to. And then adjust them if they're not. And that should be a continual adjustment process. And then you also want to keep your ads current and fresh. Just because one ad works for a while doesn't mean it's going to work for 6 months. Keep that information updated. And make sure as you adjust your ad, your website, the landing page behind any ads you're running supports that ad. We all have had that experience where we click on an online ad about, say, mattresses, and then you click through and get to a page where you don't see any mattresses. So that's not only makes your ad more costly, but it also means that you're likely to lose that end user because it's just too much work for them. They're going to go to the place where they see mattresses right up front. So make sure your website supports your ads. So the truth is the internet and your online presence can really work for you, but do not fall into the trap of thinking that it's a free and easy way to promote your business. Like anything else, it involves work, time, and expertise, and you really need to make sure that you're paying attention to how you're perceived online.